Good morning to Rise and Grind 24/7. You've reached the best motivational webcast in the world. Today. Jenna is in New York. I'm in South Carolina. Jenna, uh, I'm Herb Bailey. I'm sorry, I didn't introduce myself. Jenna, go ahead. Give it to him.
Good morning. Rise and grind. Yes, thanks, Herb and Jenna show. Herb, your food looked so delicious yesterday that you made.
Yep.
I was craving to make chicken, so I was going to make baked chicken. Then I changed my mind. Then I saw your dish, and then I went back to the chicken. So chicken with avocado was my meal yesterday, but I want to tell you, yours looked so tasty.
That was a recipe my mom made when I was a kid that she got from her dad.
Awesome.
And so it's just been on and on and on. But I love it.
Mom's cooking, always the best.
Nothing ever tastes like mom's, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. And I like white sauces as opposed to red sauces. So you'll never see me eating anything red sauce. People think I'm Italian because I talk with my hands and I sound like Brooke. No, I do not like chicken parm. I do not like anything with a red sauce. I won't touch it. Yeah, and I don't do a lot of pasta either.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, I know. I was a big carbaholic, but I cut that out about 10 years ago. That means potato, rice, pasta, breads, even pizza is down to once a month. So yeah, and if the pizza is done, it's got to have veggie on it. But yeah, no, the reason why we did that is we found that, especially with the last 10 years of trying to, stabilize our sugars and carbs, we cut out all the starches. And you'd be surprised out there, if you are having trouble and you're working out and you're not losing weight, check your carb intake. Your carbs I'm not saying get rid of it, because you can't get rid of carbs and be healthy. I shouldn't say that. You could be healthy, but what I'm saying is that if you cut out carbs and sugar, you'll be one miserable person. I tried it, trust me. So all you have to do is just moderation, just cut back. So if you're doing pasta 3-4 nights a week, that's way too much.
Yeah.
So what I've done,
I agree with you there.
Way too much. So what I've done is more veggies and more protein. So instead of having, let's say, steak and potatoes, I'll have like chicken and broccoli or something like that. I'm just giving an example. Don't get me wrong. The guys in my family, my husband, my son, my middle daughter, and my other daughter, actually everybody in my family loves carbs. I had to really curtail them. But yeah, carbs is like when you get that gut in the middle and you feel bulky, that's carbs. I'm telling you, if you go on a 30
I agree. It is.
If you go on a 30-day restriction of carbs, you will lose about 20 pounds.
Yeah.
If you don't exercise. I'm telling you, I've seen it myself.
She's telling you.
Yeah. But you know what though? Don't limit yourself to things that make you happy. Like if you're going to be miserable and you have to have the pasta, just have it. Like honestly,
smaller portion.
That plate that you had was perfect. Try to do like a small salad plate instead of like a big dinner plate. Like we have dinner plates. We eat with, you know what? This year, I'll tell you, we eat with good china. And I'll tell you why. All these years, we've had like thousands of dollars worth of good plates in the closet, and nobody ate from them. No one. Really? Why is that? We're going to die with these damn plates in the closet?
That's true.
We're always using paper plates forever and ever because none of us
want. There is a truth right there. There is a truth right there. Waiting for the day that might never happen. You got to seize the day today.
Yes.
I'll do it tomorrow. It's going to happen then. It's going to happen. It starts today. It starts today, and what you can do today to impact it. And and China. I heard that so many times over the years. Oh, we can't use the China. No,
seriously. What are you waiting for? Like this is not 60s where everybody's coming over to look at your China.
Yeah, no one really does that anymore. No.
You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong. We don't want to sit there and wash dishes. So we do the disposable plate thing. I get it. I'm with you. But I'm just saying, like, especially Sunday dinner, we have the whole family here. We had a beautiful Sunday dinner this past Sunday, and we're celebrating my daughter because it was like everybody was home at the same time. So we got out the nice plates and stuff. But, I'm just saying in general, like, don't hold back on things that are going to make you happy. And if you want to use that trying to, like, my mom, God rest her soul, she had plastic on all her good furniture.
Oh, I've seen that too.
Way, right? Plastic everywhere.
Yeah.
And and I get it because those are and those are great pieces you want to protect, but do you really want to be sitting on plastic? Like when I got my house and when I was in my 20s and bought furniture, I didn't put plastic on there. I didn't put plastic everywhere. That was an old Greek, Italian, European way of just protecting the furniture. And I Scotch guarded my furniture. I did. Because I had 3 kids under the age of 2.5 years old. I literally had a newborn, a 1-year-old, and a 2-year-old, okay, or a 1 and a 1.5-year-old. So Scotch Guard was my. I guess they didn't have Scotch Guard back in the day, but Scotch Guard was it. You Scotch Guarded everything. Your living room furniture, your floor was Scotch. Everything was Scotch Guarded. I don't know if people Scotch Guard things today. I think the furniture comes already pre-stained. Like, in other words, if you spill something, it wipes right off the fibers and stuff. But yeah, it's amazing how when you see things, how your parents did it. You ever wake up and say, you know what? I am my mother's child. You ever have that revelation? Say,
I found myself driving like my dad. My dad always had this hand underneath his leg and drove with one hand. And one day, all of a sudden, I'm driving, and I have my hand underneath my leg driving. I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm my dad."
Cool.
And it's you just pick up stuff.
Well,
hey, I wanted to touch on something.
Al Bundy had his hand in his crotch while he was watching television.
That's true. That's true. We could go all kinds of places there. But
yes.
I was watching Antique Roadshow yesterday.
I love that.
And this guy brought in a Chinese ceremonial suit that his grandmother lived in China about 1910, and put it in a treasure trove type of treasure chest.
Okay.
Everybody forgot about it, and he found it the other day. So this was taped just last year or something. Found it the other day, and he goes, "Oh, that's right. Grandma it was his grandmother, I guess, or something, had this," and he brought it to the roadshow. It's been in a case since 1948, and the guy in the roadshow was just like ecstatic. He goes, "Oh my God, I've never seen this," and blah blah blah. And he goes to the guy, "How much do you think it's worth?" And the guy goes, "I don't know. Since I'm on your camera right now, I'm saying."
If somebody asked me that, I'd be like, $100 billion.
Dollars. But he really didn't know. And the guy, he goes, I don't know, maybe 1,000. And the guy goes, well, I'm going to make your day. I talked to all the people, and we conservatively are saying this is worth $200,000.
Nice.
And the guy goes, couldn't believe it. But my point is,
he didn't go sold.
I'll sell it to you right now.
Seriously.
But my point is, we don't know as far as ourselves what gold is inside us until we start really showing the world what we're made of. And I want to encourage people out there. You got some good stuff inside you that's just ready to come out, and you got to show the world what you're made of today. Absolutely.
Well said. Well said. It's so funny that you said that, because this morning I woke up and, last night we did not have a show. So that was my fault. I apologize. I had 3 shows going on at the same time. And sometimes and this is a lesson that I learned and I want to share with you. Have to say no. You have to learn to say no. And so I'm not a people pleaser, but I try to make everyone happy in terms of being here. I was trying to schedule a show and then jumping on another show and then I did some coaching last night, and I
You're a
just
very popular person.
yeah, it was well, for the time being. I don't know how long it's going to be that way, but anyway. But the thing is that I had to draw the line in the sand and say, hey, I just can't do all this at the same time. Well, anyhow, a funny thing happened. A few minutes, I introduced the host, and I was waiting, I was watching the Zoom, and I was waiting to come back on again to kind of wrap up. And because sometimes I host and sometimes I do the whole thing and somebody else hosts. I work in teams. You can't always do it yourself. And I thought we had a blackout. And I said, how the hell do we have a blackout?
I saw that. I saw that. You posted that.
It is gorgeous out. What happened? Well, we got a text message like moments later saying, oh, everything is good. We were just doing safe repairs. And it's funny because I was watching an episode of The Sopranos, like a repeat, and the guy cut the wire because they were doing safe repairs on somebody's neighborhood. And so with our safe repairs, the whole Plainview, which is about, I don't know how many blocks, maybe 60,000 people. I don't even know how, 40,000 people. I was the only one who posted it because I really thought, wow, we lost power, because it happened before and then it came back on like maybe 10 minutes later. I've never been in a worse blackout than when I was a kid in New York City in the 1970s.
Oh, that was a famous one.
It was a 75, 76, or 77. I remember. I was like only
Aliens were behind it.
Aliens 9 or 10 years old. And yeah, that was a famous blackout. And gosh, we were like out for days.
We were youngsters then.
Yeah, we were really young, and it was still traumatizing enough. Like, oh my God, like no TV, no nothing. Like we were really like lost. Imagine now we have
the whole Eastern Seaboard would.
Oh yeah. Oh, you remember it? Yeah. So it wasn't just me, and so it was like the big blackout. And again, I'm not going to hold the dates, but I think it was 76 or 77. Anyhow, so what happened was shortly after the show, maybe like 10 minutes into it, my computers go off, my power line goes off, everything. And so I was down to maybe 1 or 2 bars of and so oh my God, now my phone's gonna go, blah blah blah. And then within like a few minutes later, it was a text, and at the same time they put the lights up. They said, oh yeah, no, it was safe repairs, we're all good. And it got me thinking, what would you do if your area had a blackout for like a day? What would you do? Like your fridge wouldn't be working, your lights wouldn't be working.
We'd be back to the 1700s.
Right. I mean, your phone, of course, because of the cell towers, would be working. But imagine you didn't even have that phone, the smartphones that we have now, where you could actually stay connected and ask for help. Imagine back then, all we did was candles, and we had to just wait it out. And if the food spoiled, we threw it out.
I remember we put on the battery-powered transistor radio, and so we got some news there. But besides that, yeah, there was nothing. There was nothing going on. You couldn't do.
And I thought, if somebody were to offer you $1 million to go without Wi-Fi if somebody offered you $1 million to not have Wi-Fi, cell phone, or any connection to the outside world, no TV, could you do it? And would
for how long?
Let's do it for a week, because a day is an eternity. So let's do a week. Would you
take $1 million? I'd do it. I would do it.
And a week. How about a month? Would you still have to think about it? See, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care if you cut my service for a whole year.
Wow.
I'm going to tell you why. That year, I will take out my pad and paper.
Oh, yeah.
Have a lighter and start writing.
Yeah.
I would create my own entertainment. I would
as we did in a day.
Yep. And I wouldn't care if it's a week, a month, a year without. And they have Buddhist retreats, which they're like $3,000 to $5,000. There may be some cheaper ones, but they are all over, these Buddhist retreats upstate. There's some in Tibet, which is a little more expensive. If you go to Tibet, you could actually be a monk and teach in silence as a monk. So I was wondering, what if you didn't have a social voice? could you survive? And would you?
Definitely. I think come on, previous generations did. It's just we gotten so used to it. Our lives are evolved around it now. But
I remember when you wanted to disconnect and you were back like within
yeah,
minutes.
you were my inner voice saying, "Get off, get off."
Not going to happen because I know myself too. I've never tried to go out without social media. I've just curtailed it. Like when I first got on, I was on it all the time. Now my phone will will be on, because it's always on Facebook, but I'm not
Yeah,
on it.
I don't get it. I don't understand the whole thing with that.
And laptop will always show that I'm on it, but I'm
Yeah.
really not. I'm doing other things. But the thing is that when I first got on it, it was, oh my God, I had to constantly check my Facebook status and check my this and check my that and then we added it. Well, Instagram I've been on for like, I don't know, a few years now, maybe for 4 or 5 years. And when it first came out, again, I didn't do anything with it. LinkedIn,
Yeah.
another thing. So I have a lot of social media that I go to, and
Me
then
too.
sometimes I feel like, why am I on all these social
Oh,
media?
I have days where I say to myself, okay, that just sucked a lot of time out of me.
Oh
And,
yeah. Oh yeah.
I get, excuse me, I get mad at myself because I know better.
Hmm.
And so, it's like, you, you just gotta, and it does show sometimes that you're on when you're not, because all of a sudden I'll be getting messages, and I'll say I'm not on.
Oh yeah. People think that you're on there 24/7. I'm like, no, just because I work for myself doesn't mean I have to sit there. I treat this as my job. I mean, we're on social media, but even if you think about it, right? Even if you're not on, I once told someone, just because I'm on social media doesn't mean I'm accepting phone calls at this time.
Exactly,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? Like maybe I'm on social media doing research. That's another thing that people don't realize. I could be on Facebook and I could be looking for different groups that have similar interests with me. I'm not engaging on Facebook, but maybe I'm doing homework or doing research. So
It's
people have to
true.
respect
It's
that
true.
too,
I agree. I agree. And it it comes to a point where and I'm hoping we're resonating with people right now. It comes to a point where you have to say, is it worth my time? Is it
Yeah.
worth right now? Me scrolling on Facebook or me going on Instagram, if it's not like for a business like you do,
Yep.
or it's not like serving a purpose, why? Why? It's
Time
just
myself.
sucking the time that you're
Time
never going
myself.
to get back,
Yep.
and,
Yep.
it's not enabling you to be who you are intended to be.
And you know what? The more you spend time on social media for just wasting time, the less productive you feel. And then this is why people have social anxiety and depression.
A lot of
People,
anxiety going on right now.
people look to Facebook for validation, and they
Hmm.
shouldn't. If you put up a post and you got 3 likes or 300 likes or 30 likes, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of
I
things.
got a true story. This was like, I would say, a year ago or so. I call it false book sometimes
Mhm.
because this lady that was in one of the groups I was in was really asking me a lot of questions. I thought it was a lady. Was like really asking me a lot of questions about life, blah blah blah, and the conversation started to get a little weird. And then somebody that was in the group said to me in a private message, "Watch out! I don't think that person's real."
Mhm.
And sure enough, it was somebody doing a false account.
Wow.
And I said to myself, that was a complete waste of time.
Yep.
I thought I was helping somebody.
Yep.
And it didn't help. You just don't know who's on the other end on Facebook. Be
That's
careful. Be
absolutely.
careful.
And that brings me to another thing that I just thought of. When you're looking for somebody to help you, whether it's psychologically, therapeutically, or even if you're looking for a business. Like I'm going to tell you right now, I get about 2 to 3 messages a day on what do I do? What kind of online work do I do? Can I do it part-time? And I'm going to tell you right now, I go through the painstaking trouble of telling people how to get started, what to do, and then it's like they don't do anything with it. I would say that percentage that doesn't do anything with it, they're wasting your time, they're wasting their time. So don't do that. Like, don't engage in something and then just not do it. Like, if you're going to reach out to someone, especially like me, who I'm helping people, and then you're going to sit on something, don't waste your time. Just move, keep it moving. So now I learned to block people that are just sending messages for abstract reasons.
Yeah.
So going back to social validation, this is what I wanted to just make sure that this is a message that I know will change the trajectory of everyone's life right now. Going on social media and having a bunch of likes does not make you any more popular than someone who has one like. It comes from within. If you're happy with the content that you're putting out there, it shouldn't matter whether 2 people like it or 200 people like it or 2,000 people like it.
And there's hundreds of people that are not going to press that like button no matter what.
No matter what, because it's you. Those are the haters, right? And also, if you're on Instagram and you have thousands of followers or you have a couple of followers, it does not mean that you're not well respected and liked. So
or being seen. You're being seen.
You're being seen, right? People won't hit that like button because it's you. For whatever reason, it's a demon that they're fighting with. It has nothing to do with you. It's really their problem. But understand that if you also have those malicious people out there and they're either mocking you or they're just bullies, right? Online bullies. You could do one of 2 things. Either you can block them or you can challenge them and see like, hey, what's up? I've done that before. I've messaged people and say, listen, what's your problem? Like, if I care enough.
I've done that too.
What's your problem? Like, what is going on here? Like, do I have to block and delete you, or are
how you doing? Hey, how you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Say, what up? What's up? What's up with that comment?
You can't see me.
And it's funny because you're smiling and then all of a sudden you're like, really? I'm serious now. What's going on? Anyhow, so understand, Facebook often shows lives that are not real.
Yeah.
And Facebook also shows things that other people think that they're going to get likes on. Okay. So I want to end off with this. And then tonight we're going to be here.
To drink a beer tonight.
Yeah, tonight we're gonna have drinking. I didn't get a chance to drink yesterday. I couldn't believe it. It's a good thing we did cancel the show because then we had the blackout anyway.
Yeah,
so
that wouldn't have worked anyway.
Kind of worked out. But what I wanted to say was that don't be envious of people or don't be jealous of people because you think they're leading a specific lifestyle that you want. Go after what you want for you. Don't worry what everybody else does or says or is, because on Facebook you can be whatever you want. Remember that. I am somebody who believes in integrity, so I won't put any content out there. I won't put any pictures up there unless they're 100% real. But what I wanted to reiterate is that very often you always look at the grass as always being greener, but that grass is not greener. It's fake. There's fake grass out there. So I want this to kind of hit home. When you're on social media, what brand are you portraying? What image are you portraying? And then be aware of the people that you're following or the people that you're on your newsfeed. What are they trying to convey? Are they really leading that life? Because sometimes if it's too good to be true, it's not. And a lot of the industry right now is fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like a double-edged sword with that. I think that if you fake it until you make it, it sends off the connotation that you're leading people to believe something that you're not.
Exactly.
The other side is how do people follow you if they think you're a loser? So we're going to leave that for a debate for another time. But I'm just letting you know that if you're on social media and you have what Herb says, social anxiety, or what I said, depression, really look inward to yourself. Like, what is the root of it? Because nobody can make you feel anything that you don't already feel.
Yes.
So what do you think about that? Do you believe that a lot of people? Do you believe a lot of people get socially depressed watching other people's lives? Because social media,
100% agree. I 100% agree with that. And I think that, you know, the brain is something. You know, when the brain, you know, it will click on different things. And if you're a person that is prone to being depressed, and you go on Facebook and you see people in these ivory towers having fun, life is good, blah blah, you know, champagne wishes and dreams, and you're going to be depressed. You're going to consider yourself a loser. And more often than not, that's not real. And or if it is real, God bless them, great. But you know,
And let
you
it
can
drive you. Let it drive.
let that inspire
Yeah,
you.
there's
Let that
two
inspire
people.
you.
Either you could be depressed about it, or you can be inspired by it. So I mean, it's your
Yeah,
choice to do that. So what Herb
exactly.
is saying
Be
is
inspired. Be
100%
inspired.
on point, 100% on point. If you're prone to depression and you're watching this, you know, these live shows, and the food looks amazing, and you know, they're going on these lavish vacations. I mean, my newsfeed was filled with lavish vacations of parents taking their kids, and
Yeah.
it brought me back 10 years when I was in my 30s, and I brought my kids everywhere because I was able to. But now we're older, and our kids are working, and they're driving, and they're, you know, it's very hard, you know, to take them on these lavish vacations when they don't have the time. So, you know, you could easily go into that depression and watch like, wow, I wish I was on that beach or
Yeah.
whatever. That's normal, but don't let it eat at you. And if you're the type of person that wants to get involved, like I actually have a friend who's in travel, and she said, hey, if you ever want to go on vacation, I know the hot spots. And I said, you know what? Right now, I'm in the process of so many projects that for me, I open up my yard. That's my vacation. I have a little backyard resort, and I'm okay with that. And last year, somebody told me the same thing, like, oh, do you go on vacations? Guess what? Those that go on vacations and don't post about it are still on vacation. Think about it. So many times I've gone away this past year.
Yeah.
Did I post every time I went away? Absolutely not. Do you know why? It's the same thing as I may go out to dinner 4 or 5 times a week. Do I post every time I go out to dinner? No, I'm just not that person. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but don't think that because people don't post that they're not doing it. For example, I may not post my husband and I always together. That doesn't mean that we don't have a happy marriage. And then you have other people that constantly, these devotional love stories online, that they're always together, that everything is hunky-dory. And then you find out minutes later, they're separating.
Yeah.
So what Herb hit the nail on the head, and what I'm trying to say is that social media can create a whole host of emotions. And we just want you to know that when you wake up and you rise and grind, rise to the occasion to make it your best day, regardless of what's going on all around you. Because years ago, when we didn't have social media, we opened up our window and we just started our day. Now we open up our Facebook, and I'll leave one thing with Facebook. Facebook is like the refrigerator. Sometimes you go there just to open it, and there's nothing good, and then you close it. So that's my best.
Great illustration. Great illustration.
Right? Facebook, like the fridge. You ever go to the fridge? You open it.
You just stare. You just stare.
Right, you
Is
stare.
there something new that I know that's not there?
You think there's going to be something good. There's nothing there. You close the refrigerator. Think of Facebook. The next time you go on Facebook and you're bored and you're opening it up and you're looking for stuff, and think of that analogy. And on that note, I want you all to have a great, great day. We'll see you guys tonight.
Have
Bye.
a good day.
Have a wonderful day. Bye.